Hello, Miami. Thank you so much for watching Through Five Sports Now. I am your host, Will. This was an insane game as the Miami Hurricanes. You guys saw me on Instagram. The Miami Hurricanes won by a score of 38-34 after a controversial touchdown call was reversed by the referees, giving the Miami Hurricanes a 38-34 victory. Cam Ward did Cam Ward things, even though he was responsible for 3 Miami turnovers, 1 fumble that should have been a fumble in my opinion. Should have been ruled an incomplete pass, and 2 interceptions that a couple of them led to scores. The Miami Hurricanes were able to withstand the storm, especially on offense, and get a 4 touchdown performance by Cam Ward through the air, and not only that, get 1 on the ground, 5 total touchdowns for the potential Heisman Trophy candidate slash hopefully winner, as was Cam Ward led his team calmly and precisely destroyed Virginia Tech's defense, especially when it mattered, and was able to give the Canes a victory. This was also the best performance running the football Miami had, as Miami had 165 yards rushing in the game. David Martinez, Mark Fletcher, Jordan Law a little bit got into the game as well. One of the things I was not happy with was the defense. I thought the defense gave a lot on the ground. Tune had way too much ability, way too many holes to run the football as well. And you knew they were going to do that. You knew it was going to be the hand the ball off to Tootin. He was going to go outside as well. And Kyron Drones was going to be Kyron Drones. That's exactly what you got in this game. A couple of occasions, Miami almost got sacks. He's a big guy, 235-pound quarterback. He was able to release the ball and be able to make plays to his receivers as well. Tight ends got involved in the game. The tight end actually caught a touchdown in the game. I said that in my pregame that you'll have to watch out for the tight ends as well. I will say this. They kept Lane pretty much under wraps, but what really did a lot of damage was the running game and the ability for Kyron Drones to extend play. So that's something that I do believe. Sorry about that. I'm on my phone. I rarely do StreamYard on my phone. So I accidentally was trying to see if I could find comments from any of you. And I don't think I can see them on my phone. So I apologize if I don't respond to you in the comment section. But that's pretty much where we're at. I mean, Miami, it was an ugly game, a very ugly game, as the Canes really had a scratch and claw throughout the game. They could have gone up 21-7, but Cam Ward tried forcing one into the flat that was picked off by a defensive back of Virginia Tech that would end up being a score in the game as well. The Cam Ward fumble led to a touchdown. That's 10 points that Miami gave up on turnovers alone. So that's something that we will have to clean up, as practice goes, as we prepare for Cal next week, going all the way to California. Going to the West Coast isn't something Miami's been good at historically speaking, but nonetheless, I do expect Miami to be there. Let's go back to what I also wanted to talk about as far as the defense goes. Too many gashes in the game. You knew what they were going to do. They were going to run outside, and Tune just ran all over us. I don't want to take anything away from Virginia Tech. They do have a pretty good offensive line. They have really good running backs as well, and Tune is an NFL caliber running back throughout the game. But you kind of knew what they were going to do, and I was hoping we'd stop them a bit more. That's one of the main reasons why Virginia Tech was able to put points on the board. So that's something, again, you got to clean up. Our secondary was also slightly exposed, as the first touchdown was on a busted coverage. The touchdown where Kyron Drones throws it to the tight end, that was kind of on a busted coverage. The secondary was picked apart a little bit. Not a little bit. Was picked apart quite a bit in the game. But I will say what set up the pass was the run for Vatek, as Vatek was able to run the ball at will, especially quarters 1 through 3 in the ball game, and that's what led to Miami having to claw and win. But I will say this though, I want to give the Miami Hurricanes a lot of credit. This team normally would fold in these type of situations, and they fought to the bitter end. Being down by 10 points, they were able to come back. They never lost. Any hope. They still continue to fight back. And Dan, see if I can get him up here. His comment. There we go. Now it works. You guys got a comment for me to tap it. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. They couldn't stop the run. All right. They couldn't stop the run. That's apparent. A team that averaged 65 yards per game only on defense, stopping the run, was pretty much shut down. Another thing that I thought we would do more is sack Drones. Now, mind you, Drones made some crazy throws to get away from sacks. But I think he'd been sacked 11 times or 10 times before he played Miami, so I was hoping Miami gets him a little bit more. Miami, I think, got 2 sacks in the game against Kyron Drones, while Cam Ward was sacked 3 times by the Virginia Tech defense as well. So, but this was our toughest test that we faced. I will say, Florida, although the Gators are technically better in terms of recruitment, meaning they tend to have more 4-star guys than Virginia Tech does. Virginia Tech is a better coach team. I'm sorry. Better coach team, better scheme. They prepared well for the Canes. And again, they almost came out with a W. But I agree with a lot of what I'm seeing on X. I don't think the referee should have called it a touchdown. I really don't. Only because there was a lot of bodies there. And when you look at the replay, I'm sorry to tell you, the ball was moving. Okay, the ball was moving. He didn't have full control when he landed with the football. And the Miami Hurricane football player was able to rip the ball out of his hands and make things happen. Okay. Yeah, I agree with Dan. I was like, please God, because Miami is never the beneficiary of calls like that. But it's so funny though, Dan. When I saw 36 seconds, I'm like, oh my God, it's Georgia Tech. It's a night game at the Rock, and it's Georgia Tech. 36 seconds. I'm like, with that. But whatever. We got the end of it. This is a different team though. This is a different team, and I hope Miami can learn from this. Miami should have won this game more convincingly, but I'm sure Virginia Tech will say, if we don't have that fake field goal, all we have to do is kick the field goal, and that attempted touchdown reception is not absolute, is a non-option. All right, and Virginia comes out. We left plays on the field. They left plays on the field as well, and Miami just has to learn from that. But I have to hand it to Cam Ward. Talk about vision. Talk about having good vision and doing that chest pass to Riley Williams that got you inside the 5-yard line, and you're able to punch it in with a touchdown pass to Zay Horton. By the way, Zay Horton's been balling, man. Gotta give the guy credit. Restrepo, beautiful catch. Zay Horton, the game-winning touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown pass as well. I'm excited, man. I do think this team has the ability to still win the ACC and still even go undefeated. You just can't fall asleep at the wheel like we did tonight. We have to take teams very seriously, and we have to make sure that we don't allow that to happen. Okay? Yeah, I agree with Dan. Dan felt the same way. It's like, Georgia Tech all over again. It was the right call on defense. There was no mistakes, as far as playing back like there was last year. So that's good. But I do think that I was kind of looking at the replay. I'm like, I wish Hoji Federico would just shoved everybody out the end zone while everybody's in the air. That would have been a complete pass, because no one would have landed in bounds. I wish Fergie just gone in there and hit the ball and hit the receiver and just knocked him out of bounds before his foot or touched the ground. That would have been an automatic incomplete pass, but whatever. It is what it is, man. Okay, let's see. Miami needs to be able to stop the run from quarterback or running back better. Yeah, I do think the RPO option that Virginia Tech has kind of gave Miami trouble, especially along the lines of the fact that they had to worry about a mobile quarterback, which is something that Miami's always struggled with. Even when we had good teams, the mobile quarterback has always been a pain in the butt for the Canes. But that's why you can't make mistakes yourself. You can't have, be on the ground and try to throw a football and leave it in the hands of referees to call a fumble or not. I never thought that was a fumble. Cam Ward's arm went forward. Okay. Cam Ward's arm went forward. Okay, so I do believe the ball was incomplete. That led to a touchdown. That shouldn't have led to a touchdown. Dan, I agree. The national championship talk needs to calm down. I never thought national championship, but I was thinking ACC, and I still firmly believe that. I was thinking ACC, and I was thinking playoff. I will say that. I don't know if we have enough to compete with the Georgias, the Texas or even the Alabamas. I think tonight showed that we're still learning. We're still climbing our way back. We're still young. I saw Zaquan Patterson out there as well at the secondary position. But I do think next week, if they're available to go, I do think that Ruben Bain needs to play and Damari Brown need to play. You have to have those two guys out there. Damari Brown is a very solid corner. You could play him at the nickel. You can play him at the nickel. You can play him at the boundary as well. And he's a solid tackler. We saw a lot of missed tackles tonight as well. That's something that really hurt the Canes, something I wasn't cool with at all. Okay, a lot of missed tackles. I was surprised with some of the missed tackles. I saw a lot of attempted going high on Tune. Tune is a very strong back. You got to hit him low. You got to wrap up as well. That touchdown run by Tune early in the game in the first half, Maui Noah. It was a tough tackle. I can't fault Maui Noah, but someone should have wrapped up there. That's all I gotta say. Um, let's see. Jimmy Georgia is questionable. Yeah, but I still think that they could beat us in a head-to-head matchup. They have too much depth, and they've been stacking classes. That's the only reason why I wonder about Georgia. On neutral field, I will give the Bulldogs still the advantage over the Canes, but we're a class or two away. Okay, I'm a class two away, and no, I don't think this was a fluke. I think Miami. They clawed back, they won this game. I still think Miami's very good, at least on offense. Miami's very good. The only thing I will say that I will question about Shannon Dawson in this game, I can't complain about 38 points against a really good defense like Virginia Tech with really good pass rushers and a secondary that's only averaging 160 yards per game. In a system in a collegiate football and NCAA that all they do is throw. So I can't complain too much about 38 points. I can't complain about 38 points. But my only critique of Shannon Dawson is the lack of outside runs I saw. A lot of runs between the tackles. I'd like to see what we have with Dave Martinez, who's a quick back, maybe a little more outside runs. And I would have liked to see more use of the tight ends. I know Arroyo got the ball, scored a touchdown. I know Riley Williams got the ball as well. But I'm saying the corners for Virginia Tech were good, and they were holding our receivers in check for much of the game. I would have liked to seen the mismatch exposed between Elijah Arroyo, Riley Williams, and their linebackers. That's what I would like to see a little bit more. Hopefully, we see that against Cal. Dan Jimenez, missed tackles, turnover penalties. Totally agree. I think on both sides of penalties, I don't think Virginia Tech was very disciplined either. On defense was horrible. Yeah, defense had a very rough night. And they almost cost us the game as well. Even though it was a prevent that they were playing, they were rushing 3 or 4, so you were going to go plays, but they should have wrapped up early on the game, and they should have made better plays in the secondary. I will say that, and also just wrap up. I mean, you got to bring these kind of running backs down. You can't let them bounce off you. Need be. They didn't have the same energy, I will say, our defense that they had against Florida. Florida has really good running backs. They have really good running backs, and they had, of course, Trey Wilson. And Trey Wilson is an individual that is very electric, and Miami was able to hold him in check. Weakness is DB on our team. Yeah, that was kind of exposed tonight. I was very upset with Mish Powell. I thought he should have been in a better position to bat the ball down. That was a touchdown that gave him 34 points. But again, I'm not out there in the field. It's easy for me to question and be upset at here from my bedroom watching the game. So, but yeah, again, I do think our secondary is better than what we saw tonight. But yeah, that was one of the concerns. If you don't get a pass rush, that will expose our secondary. And we really had trouble sacking Kyron Jones tonight. He was able to extend plays with his legs, and he was able to find the open receivers on many occasions. Because he was able to extend plays, and we saw that tonight. So, guys, I'm enjoying your feedback. I'm enjoying your comments. I love going back and forth with all of you. Again, on to next week against Cal. Cal has a pretty decent defense, and they do have a pretty solid running backs. And Mendoza, who's a Florida kid, he's gonna want to beat Miami as well over there at home, over there in Berkeley. Hopefully we get Bain and Brown back. This is from Fresh to 3542. Yeah, I said that earlier. I totally agree. Ruben Bain needs to come back. We saw our defensive line drop a bit, so we need Ruben Bain to come back. I absolutely agree. Rivers as well. I don't think that was a hold by Markel Bell. The touchdown pass that was called back to Jacoby George, and so on Jacoby George, that was called back. I don't think that was a hold personally, but yeah, I do think Jalen Rivers will be an upgrade, obviously, from Markel Bell, who's still pretty green, has been holding his own and held his own tonight. I will be honest with you, he wasn't the problem. I will say again, our defense giving up 34 points was. All right. Oh, I totally agree with you, Fresh. 21-7, it should have been. All right, the referees kind of screwed us on that call. The Cam should not have thrown to the flat. I would have rather taken 3 points, drop 17-7. You have momentum in your favor, and they have to try to claw back in the game. So, all right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. Appreciate your feedback. Again, Canes win 38-34 on our way against California, going up against Cal next week. It's a 10:30 East Coast start. I don't know if I'll probably stay up. All right. I mean, I can't go to sleep. All right. I can't go to sleep. Okay. 14 points. Was it a 14? Was it 14 or 10? I don't remember. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it though. Yeah. Okay. See Jimmy Jam. It took too long to get the bell some help. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we made some adjustments at halftime, though. I will say that. That's why we were able to move the ball a bit better at halftime. We were kind of like struggling in the second quarter. Right, totally agree, Jimmy. But yeah, we did get Bell some help. Right, the running backs did hold their own in terms of blocking as well. All right, ladies and gents, I'm out. I'm out. All right, if you like what you heard, first of all, thank you for the comments. Thank you for Dan Fresh. Who else? I'm not missing anybody. Jimmy, all you guys that commented. Thank you so much for all your comments. I appreciate it, guys. God bless. Please subscribe, share, and like. That's how we get the algorithm going, and that's how I get going as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful evening. God bless. Go Canes. 38-34. Hail Mary reversed. Have a good one, guys. God bless. Bye bye.